Oh my God. Today, we are finally getting to the highly requested album, at least on the community tab if you haven't gone over there yet. Yeah, surprise, it's a community post. Oh, who would have known? But yeah, I mean, I think there was about 4 or 5 people who suggested Smiling with No Teeth by Genesis Owusu. I'm sure I said it wrong. But yeah, I was looking forward to checking out this album, and I wasn't sure what it was, and when I turned it on, I was pleasantly surprised by a really good album. I don't think it was amazing. It didn't necessarily blow me away the whole entire time, but there were definitely standout tracks that I really enjoyed. A song could be heavy in concept or have a extremely serious subject matter, but it doesn't necessarily keep me interested when the execution is off. Most of the time, there are exceptions to the rule, and there are a few on here that are an exception to that rule. But without further ado, let's just start talking about the album. There is some pretty heavy subject matter on the album. It's kind of talking from the perspective of black dogs, and talking about perception of the black man in society. The album's really a roller coaster in like the different approaches and the different instrumental takes. Like there's some really aggressive songs on here, and then there are also really I guess lighthearted beautiful chord progressions. There's a lot of switch ups on here. I gotta be honest. I can say the first half is definitely more enjoyable than the second half, simply because of those chords, simply because of the vocals and the stacking that's going on in the harmonies. My personal preference, I enjoy stuff like that over some of the darker stuff, but there are songs on here that are on the second half that I really enjoyed. Songs like I Don't See Color and Black Dogs. So just for consistency purposes, let's play I Don't See Color, and then let's play Black Dogs. This vocal chop, just constant.
What you think you gonna do? When the trigger's on you, brother. How you think you gonna move? When it's bigger than you, brother.
So like it's this really stripped back instrumental with this vocal chop that's just constant, and it's almost like an attempt to make the vocals the forefront of the album, because up to this point the instrumentals have been very lavish. The instrumentals are very intricate and beautiful, and different chord progressions and different sections of what is going on, and there's a lot going on, but then it comes to this standstill with and it might not be just I Don't See Color. It might have been a couple songs before that, but it's a very drastic change for sure coming into I Don't See Color, and it makes total sense because he's kind of talking about a lot darker of a subject matter in a more direct approach. Like, when the trigger's on you, what do you think you're gonna do? And one of my favorite lines on this song is, "It's hard to move different when your face is our face," basically saying when you're black, anything that you do, you're speaking for the whole entire race in the eyes of public perception. And when I heard that, I straight up said bars. I had to walk away from the computer, because it's honestly very sad that that's even accurate. I really hate that. But let's go on to Black Dogs. It's also another dark take on some of the more heavy subject matter that is going on, but this one's a lot more in your face with it, for sure. Yeah, the vocal performance by Genesis on this is insane. Just the extremely like distorted vocals, and then you got the driving guitar in the background, just kind of keeping things moving. It's this really nice, abrasive, up-tempo track that just has this overarching concept of just what it is to be a black dog, and it's a great addition to the album, I gotta say. I feel like these two songs actually saved the second half of the album for me, because the second half of the album got to a point where the subject matter was starting to become the forefront of the album, and it felt like Genesis was starting to no longer really pay attention to the instrumentals. Not that they got bad, they just weren't as interesting as the first half. Now, I do understand that could just come down to personal preference, because I just like harmonies a lot more than I like some of the more dark instrumentals that are on here, but I will say I Don't See Color and Black Dogs are the exception to that rule. Now let's go on to some of the more melodic songs on here, where it's The Other Black Dog, which is the right after the opener, On the Move. Just this really nice up-tempo, 4 on the floor. There's just so much personality on this opening track, like this full length opening track, so much character. and it made me very excited for what was to come. And I think it's just a genius song to put at the very beginning, because even if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, there's still so much for you to pay attention to that's just interesting. It's sonically pleasing to me. I just like that it has this upbeat tempo to it, nice melodic vocals, and it's kind of dressing up the darker lyrics on here opposed to what's happening on the second half. It's like almost trying to sugarcoat the lyrics that are being given to the black dog, you know what I'm saying, like to make them feel as if they're welcome, but they're really not. And it's almost like what it's doing to the listener's bobbing his head, but then it's also like take you to your grave, excuse me, I want to take your soul, excuse me. Then I mean, more of that continues on throughout the whole entire first half. Next track is Centerfold. These reverse vocals that come in, oh my god. I like when artists get extremely creative with how they want to tell a story or how they want to structure a song, because stuff like reverse vocals that are still melodically in tune, that shit is insane, dude. Like, who thinks of stuff like that? There's no way you sat down and were like, what if we reverse those? I also do want to talk about the vocal range and the versatility of Genesis to go from something like Black Dogs to something like Centerfold, from something like Centerfold into I Don't See Color. Like, the amount of confidence you have to have in your vocal ability to even attempt to do those songs on the same project, it's a testament to your creative genius. I gotta give it to him. Next song that I have on my playlist is I can't fucking read. Waitin' On Ya.
Said I've been praying on you. You brooding all alone. I've been waiting on you. The crack up on your throne. I've been for you on my phone for you. Dig my little paws into your skin, into your mind.
It's such a good song. Oh my god. That's my favorite, actually. No, it's not. It's not. This next song is my favorite. Don't Need You. I promise you this is the one.
Once I left your crazy ass, I took a therapy session.
You think you know what's gonna happen, but you don't. Could this be true? I don't need you. I don't need you. Wait. I don't like you. You can't tell me that that's not fucking fire. Doing this very stagnant melody with the horns in the background. It be true. I don't need you. I don't need. That's so genius, man. And I love the drums. The drums just feel good. I enjoy this album so much. But what I will say is, like I said at the very beginning, it does start to lose steam for me near the second half, even though there are a couple standout tracks near the end. But not enough for me to excuse the fact that the first half is so much more entertaining. Like I said, that's also just personal preference. A lot of people might like the second half more than the first half because it is darker, because it is more upfront, because it is more direct. And I will say the concept does start to come together a lot more near the end of the album, which there's one song left that I do have on my playlist, which is Bye Bye. I just think it kind of wraps up the conclusion of the album very well. It's not very optimistic. It's basically a song that's saying, hey, just because you're aware of your public perception doesn't mean that it goes away. This is something you'll have to live with for the rest of your life. You know, like these stereotypes that are against you because of your skin color. So I gotta say, I just like the accuracy of what is being said on this song. It's not even necessarily the song. I just have to give a nod to Genesis for being honest. Just because you're aware of the stereotypes that are used against you doesn't mean that you become bulletproof or that it's just not going to happen, because now you got self-awareness, but you still have to figure out a way to progress in the eyes of adversity. And yeah, man, Smiling with No Teeth. Great album. Great album. I will say, as much as I love this album, I can only see myself coming back to the first half, and that is a big deal in regards to rating the album. So I will say that it's probably a 7 out of 10 for me, but I could see why somebody would rate this a lot higher, for sure. Just like the approach to songs and the versatility and the instrumentals and the subject matter being a lot deeper and having this larger overarching concept. And Genesis, dude, the vocal range is insane. So Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If you really enjoyed the project, if you haven't even heard it, definitely go listen to it and come back and let me know. Subscribe if you're new, for sure, because I have a lot more videos coming out. And if you are new, go to the community tab, leave suggestions. Let me know what you want me to react to and or make best tracks videos to. These are really fun for me. That I'm allowed to kind of listen to the album, listen to the words, come up with a loose concept of what it's about, but also still have fun in front of the camera. So I actually really enjoy doing this series, and I'll probably do more. But yeah, more reactions on the way. Don't worry, there's a lot of them. So like I always say, enjoy the music while you can. Thanks for watching. Peace.